welcome back to a new and latest episodes of Hot Takes and Pancakes, where pancakes and perspectives meet. This is the second episode, and thank you for everyone that watched and participated on the first episode. Last episode we talked a little bit about dating, but we didn't go into detail. And so, like we mentioned earlier, what we did is we sent you guys a Google Doc, and you guys filled it out. And thanks for everyone who did. We had great responses, which will actually be part of our main discussion today. And like I said, or like we always say, don't forget to subscribe, YouTube channel, hit that notification bell so you can be updated when we upload our next video.
Awesome. So our very first question that we asked you guys was the gender question, but we noticed that we had a lot more female responders than male responders. We had about 63% female responders, and we had about 30% of male responders. And which was actually linked to our other question of whether you're asked on a date or the asker or the asker. And we noticed that it's almost 50-50, where the males and the females both are asking and being asked.
Well,
so
on
That was
that,
very
I'm just gonna
interesting.
say, yeah, good job, girls. You guys are doing
yeah,
awesome.
if you like
Yeah.
someone, ask them on a date.
I'll do better.
I
I would say
won't.
that shocked me a little. I just didn't think that a lot of girls were asking people
Yeah,
on dates. So
neither
I think
did I.
I think it's awesome to know that some people are out there doing that.
Nah, they're just capping. They're lying. They're lying. They're not asking guys
Deal
out
with
on
the
dates.
disclaimer.
Anyway, in case you didn't know our names or you didn't catch it on the last episode, my name is Lawrence.
And I'm Alessandra.
Kevin, nice to meet you.
Andalyn, what's up?
Dale. So, what's the matter at hand, Andy?
Okay, so a lot of our responses were from people that are single, and for people
As
who
it should
are
be. Let me just put it out there.
what?
No.
Well, I'll take it back.
Okay.
But I think that was expected that we thought more single
Single,
people
yeah,
would.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I meant.
It
Thanks
was-
for
yeah,
backing
yeah,
me up.
I got you.
They're married.
I got your back.
And for those who are married or in a relationship, 50 of them said that they go on dates once a week, which I think is pretty awesome. And then
Wait, why is it important as married couples to keep going on dates?
It keeps your relationship like spicier. Or
so
just
like-
like makes you guys fall in love with each other again. Like once a week or like once a month you go on a date and you're just like, I'm still in love with you. And as a hopeless romantic, that makes my heart flutter.
I think it's
And-
important too because I mean, I know for us, like pretty much every night's the same. We come home, do homework, watch a show, go to bed. You know, like it's pretty routine. Nothing's really different. And so having that like one night a week or one night a month or whatever you choose to allow you to get out of your house and do something kind of fun with your spouse allows you to like reconnect.
Yeah, and I just think it's important to help maintain the relationship, and pretty much anything that you involve yourself in, it requires effort. And going out on those dates, I feel like is that way of showing your effort in your relationship and for your partner, which I think is awesome.
And I think it just keeps the relationship entertaining,
Yeah.
you know? Like, it's not good, at least I don't think it's good to just sit on your couch and just play video games or watch movies. I love watching movies. Or watch a show.
I love watching anime.
I love watching anime too. Well, yeah, I just don't think it's good, especially for a married couple, to just keep doing the same mundane thing, go to school, go to work, come home, do homework, and then watch a movie and fall asleep. I think it keeps the fire going on dates. We try our best to go on dates every week, so I think that was good that married couples are still going on dates.
And I think it's fun too to spice it up and not necessarily do like a weekend date, do like a midweek date to kind of like
Yeah.
throw off your week a little so
Yeah.
it's like something different.
That's awesome. So if you're single, keep going on dates. If you're married, keep going on dates. So we're really,
It just
really
never
pleased.
stops.
It never stops. We're really pleased with your
Can't
responses.
escape.
We're doomed.
Anyway, so we'll move on to a question that we received a lot of feedback and a lot of comments on, and that is the kiss on a first date, yeah or nay. Kevin, take it away.
Well, for me, I would say it depends. Right? I know in the last episode, I was kind of, it depends on whether or not you want to further pursue the relationship. But now I think, looking at all the different perspectives that people have shared, I think it depends on the emotions that are happening throughout the entire date. It's not just like one thing that sparks and then all of a sudden you want to make out, but it's more like it leads to that
It
point.
could be that.
Well, it could be that.
Certainly could be that.
It could be that, but I'm saying it's more meaningful if it's built throughout the entire date, right, guys?
Yeah.
I
So
agree.
we had about 40% of you guys said it depends, and 42% said no, and 17.2% said yes.
On kissing on the first date,
Yeah.
17% said yes.
Yeah.
That is
That's a low
interesting.
number. That's crazy.
That's
Dale,
lower.
what do you think? Because
that's-
I know you were the one advocating for the yes on the first date.
But also, so if you think about it, knowing that we had a lot more females answer this, a lot of the women probably prefer to not kiss
Not
on
be
the
kissed.
first.
Yeah.
true.
Oh,
That's
not
a good
That's
kissed.
point.
a good
Yeah.
that's a very
That's a
That's
really
a
that
very
could also
important-
be because
So maybe
the
take
girls
notes.
take notes. I am taking notes, just by the way. That could also be though that girls don't like to instigate, so they're waiting for the kiss. And so if the guy doesn't go in for the kiss,
That
then
is
the
also a
girl
very good point.
girl's
Dale.
not gonna get that kiss, and she's not gonna instigate it. I feel like most girls like to be kissed as opposed to going for the kiss themselves. Yeah.
But we did learn too that, and we were surprised that a lot of the girls were instigators. So you never know.
Which I find very I wouldn't say I find I don't know, girls instigating those kisses, like a huge chunk of them actually instigate them from the responses that we got,
Yeah.
unless you guys were capping. You guys were lying. Ain't no way that's actually true.
If you're a girl who instigates a kiss or an instigated date, let us know in the comments below. We want to know who you are.
Yeah, facts. And so like my take on it is still the same. I still think you totally can, but also it depends on what kind of date you're going on. I mentioned in the first episode stargazing. When people go stargazing,
Yeah, you cannot escape that kiss.
it usually sets the mood for it.
I did.
I know Alessandra escaped it because they went stargating on their first date, which is a little crazy if you ask me. But
No, I think
know how
that's
that happened.
crazy.
My
That's not
my
crazy,
goal
that's so
that
cute.
night was to kiss, but then I ended up not kissing her because we watched some Bible videos, and we.
you watch Bible videos on your first
Hey,
date.
if you want to know why,
Romantic, huh?
if you want to know why I did that, just text me. My number is 435
Oh, wow.
559 5942, and
That's not for you, ladies.
I'll tell you exactly why I did that on my first date. And I think that kind of set the mood for where we are right now in our marriage.
Interesting.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the point we were making, right? Because you were expecting something more than just fun, and so you didn't necessarily just go for it for the fun. I'm sure if you were with her just for fun, then you for sure would have just made out, and that would have been
And
it.
I probably wouldn't have shown her
And
that Bible video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so because things of spiritual value, you take that a lot more serious than you thought about making it a part of your date because the date was more than just something that was light. And that's my point. Like if you're doing something that or if you have certain expectations for your partner or the person that you're dating, if you're wanting to date them a lot more serious, I feel like you're gonna try your best to not do those kind of things that will make it seem like it's just something for fun.
Well, and something too on our survey that I think kind of goes hand in hand with this is so a lot of the single people, 56% of them said they're looking for marriage. So that could also be another link to why a lot of people said no
Yeah.
kiss on the first date because they are looking for that something serious, that they don't want that fun kiss on the first date that a lot of people might be okay with.
That's true. All of our responses were anonymous, obviously, so we don't know the names of people, we just know the genders. But one of the responses that I really like about the first date came from this person who said, if I have known them for a while as a friend, I am more open to kissing on the first date. If it's the first time really spending time with them, I won't kiss them. So I guess it stems off if you're friends with them, if you've known them, that can help initiate the first kiss. So I've really enjoyed reading these comments and seeing where people are coming from. A lot of you guys obviously said it depends. A lot of them is like, if the vibe is right, absolutely, the vibe has to be there. I initiate the first case if I feel like I have a connection with him. So a lot of them depended on the vibes and the connection with the person.
On that note, though, I will say I'm really disappointed with how many people say how often they go on dates, and it's a high percentage on once a month. It's 63% more than the others. Why are we only going on dates once a month, guys? Why is that a thing?
Well, some of us don't go on 8 dates. Period.
Well, we're not counting you guys. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Yeah, that is kind of
Yeah.
you would think, right? Especially in a college town, like
Small
Cedar,
college town.
small college town, people would be going a lot more dates than just once a month. Do you think it's because
Someone mentioned something about being in Cedar City. We mentioned it in the last episode as well, where the dating pool in
It's
Cedar
so
City
small.
is very small and it's not that wide. And I saw that response here. I'll try to find it, but
But does that affect though how many times you go on
Yes.
date? How small the pool is? Because if it's
100%.
smaller, I feel like
yes,
No,
if it's
I think
smaller, you
about-
just have one.
Yeah, if it's smaller, if your dating pool is smaller, then the people that take or the people that you'll be attracted to is also less. Does that
Oh.
make sense?
I think that also makes sense because most of our responses were from females, and the ratio of females to guy in Cedar is actually it's like 3-1.
Yeah.
So for every 3 girls, there's one guy. So I feel like that kind of affects it as well.
Fight.
And I feel and on my point, I just think that because the dating pool is so small, because I know a lot of girls, I've spoken to many girls who they have the Prince Charming or the perfect person, right? Like they have to have blonde hair, they have to be a certain height, they have to be athletic, people they have what's the word I'm looking for?
Types.
Types. Thank you, Lawrence. People have types, and I think because the dating pool is so small, then those types are not being met, and that's why people are going to dates less just because of that.
I have a question on that as
Also,
well.
because we are in college, we work, and we have so many other responsibilities. Like, especially when I look at myself, I work almost all the time. Whereas I'll be like, okay, like dating isn't my top priority right now. And I think maybe there was one comment that said like how just college life in itself is stressful, so they don't want to add a relationship on top of that because of how stressful it is.
It
So I
depends.
think that might be why people aren't going on as much dates, because they have other responsibilities and priorities.
Right.
I think it depends on your goals too. But if you're trying to get married and your goal is to get married, it won't matter. I think you'll make time for it.
That's true.
I mean,
So
an
that's
hour on a
interesting.
date doesn't mean.
That's interesting though that most of our people said that they are looking for marriage, but yet they don't.
They
go
don't go
very
on
often.
dates. Yeah, that is
Hey
interesting.
guys, you're not gonna get married if you don't go on dates. Trust me.
But also, here's another thing though. You're not limited to Cedar City. Like we have dating apps now that goes down to St. George and
Ooh.
Las Vegas and Provo. If you're looking for
Like
those type of
Tinder.
guys or women, anywhere. Like it's open. It's not just geographically in Cedar City. It's open to a wide array. So don't limit yourself to Cedar City. Because I know a lot of people use Mutual. A lot of people use Tinder.
Tinder.
A lot of people use
Omegle,
BLK. All of that.
Hinge,
Hinge.
And so.
Bumble.
If you feel like
Yeah.
the dating scene or the dating pool is small for you in Cedar City, stem out.
But here's the thing with
the
those
love of your
dating
life
apps.
won't necessarily come from Cedar City. He might come from elsewhere.
Here's the thing about those dating apps though, like 9 times out of 10, people that I know have dating apps do it for just the fun. Like in fact, they play games on those dating apps. Like they just do silly things that will see. Like they're like, okay, I'm gonna just swipe right on them or whatever. I don't know, is it up, down, right, left? I've never used a dating app.
We
before.
don't use dating
So
apps.
so I don't even know how that works. But a lot of people just they just goof around. They just play around on those dating apps. You get that one person that's actually serious and looking for love with those dating apps, and so I don't necessarily feel like those dating apps does much for a person that is.
We know people
somehow
who have
serious.
gotten married from those dating apps.
Yeah,
I know, but
That's
that's that one though. That's that 1 out of
It's not-
10 or 2 out of 10.
And
You
it's
know?
just so alarming that, well, the question, do you use a dating app? 67% said no. So no one
Yeah.
is using dating apps. So most people are not using dating apps.
But I think there are too a lot of people on dating apps who are looking for the right things and aren't just on there for fun. But it's kind of hard to weed out the people who
Mhm.
aren't
Oh,
there
yeah,
for that.
that's
Right.
true.
And I feel like it's also based on like personality, because someone that is not outgoing, someone that's a little shy, I feel like will revert more to a dating app than someone that's like more outgoing. I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know if it's a fact or not, but I feel like if I'm shy, it's much easier to, communicate with someone over the phone or try and get with them over the phone than it is in person.
And I've spoken to a lot of girls about this too. Is like, if they meet someone on a dating app, they are afraid to meet them in person just because of how like
Safe and yeah,
dangerous
yeah.
that could be.
Have you guys seen the Tinder Swindler? That show on Netflix?
I've heard
No,
about it.
I
haven't seen
haven't
it,
watched
but-
What is it about?
I know about it.
It's
though.
about this guy that was on Tinder and he put himself as a millionaire, I think. And many people started, but he was actually stealing money from them. I've only seen like 2 episodes of them. If I'm wrong, please correct me on that. But I think that's the basis of it. This guy, he put out his profile out in Tinder, met so many different girls and just stole money from them. And he ended up with over $10 million, if I'm not
Oh my
mistaken.
word!
So yeah, dating apps are dangerous because people are worried about their safety. They don't know the person they've been talking to for I don't know how long, and they're just meeting them. But I think if you were to meet someone from Tinder or from whatever dating app, you should meet in a public place where
100%.
it's a lot safer.
Oh, for sure.
you.
Never go alone to a secluded place. Never. Always meet in a public
Never go
place.
to their
Whether you're a
house.
female or a male,
Yeah.
actually.
Anyway, I actually have a question. So I was having a chat with a couple friends of mine, and they said something which to me was like it was kind of odd regarding like dating. So if a guy asks you on a date, okay, or a girl asks you on a date, and you don't find them attractive, what I found that most people do here, especially girls, is they say yes anyway, just
To be
because they're
nice.
afraid. Yeah, just because they're afraid of saying no. What are you guys' takes on that?
Oh,
'Cause-
I had a conversation with my best friend Joseph, you guys know him. And we're talking about, I was in the opinion where I said, like, if you ask me on a date, I'll say no if I'm not attracted to you. But then he was saying, no, you should still say yes out of respect. Not just out of respect, but
I don't think
like
it's
they gained up the courage to like ask you, because it's not a small fit. Like, it's a big thing, you know? Like, they got the courage to come and ask you on a date, so should you say yes or no? That's another.
But
I want to
don't-
hear your
Lawrence,
opinions.
Lawrence, I don't think saying no is disrespectful.
Yeah, I don't think
You
so
can say it in
either,
the
yeah.
most respectful way. Right?
Yeah. Don't just say yes because, yeah, go ahead.
I think
yeah.
too, like in high school, if you're getting asked
Yeah,
to
I was
dance,
about
like,
to say
don't
that.
say no, because
Yeah.
it takes
It's just
so
high
much
school.
more courage for someone in high school. But in college, it's a little bit different because people are trying to narrow down what they want, or they're dating for fun, and so
That is
there's
beautiful
nothing
advice.
necessarily wrong with saying no to a date you actually don't want to go on, unless you're in it for the free food, and then then maybe go. But
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
see
a
now
good
I'm
question.
the type of person that would say yes just so that I can get to know your personality. Like, I might not be like physically attracted to you, but I would say yes just I'm like, okay, like I want to read your vibes, like, because if not, we can come out of this as friends. And I don't know,
but is that why people date though? For friendship?
Well, but there's
No,
nothing
it's
wrong
not.
with the first date, and especially if you don't
Yeah.
find him attractive, like sometimes you can find a guy like not super attractive, and then get to know his personality, and then he becomes really
Really
attractive.
really attractive.
100%.
Exactly.
That's
100%.
Exactly.
I think it depends on how badly, like if you're like meh, like you could maybe still go on the date, but if you like really don't want to go, then there's
Then
still
don't.
nothing
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrong with
exactly.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's an answer that I receive almost all the time. Every time I ask that question, that's the response I get. But like, what I think is like, I shouldn't feel like I have to say yes. Like, it's almost like pressurized nowadays that girls have to say yes because I don't want to be rude, or
Ooh.
I don't, I just don't get it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the culture here in Utah. Because let's be honest. Back home, if someone asks you out and you're not attracted to
You
them,
say no.
You say
you're
no.
shutting
And
them
then
down
no one,
straight away.
and no one's gonna get offended and
Yeah,
things like that.
exactly.
And you don't
it
beat
just-
around the bush.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's
But
just.
I think Alessandra's response was, I agree with her 100%. Like, say yes to get to know them, because you never know, you might really like them when you
Yeah.
on their
When you
first
get
date
to know their
setting and things
personality.
like that. And also, yes, in high school, say yes. I really think so, because I feel like it takes so much courage. These people, like, their hearts are beating out of their chests.
And they go out
Oh
of their
my
way to like
gosh.
make these big posters, buy you candy,
Yeah, so
and
please
all of
say yes. I
that.
feel like if you're in high school, just say yes, because I know a lot of people have
And
taken
I
the courage.
and
But
I-
if you're in college, you're mature enough and grown up enough, at
I don't
least
think
we
it takes
should
that.
think.
It takes that much courage to ask someone out though, unless. Well, this is what I think.
It does.
Unless you think it's someone that's way above your league,
Above your league, or out of your league.
like way out of your league. Because for me to ask someone out, I don't like muster up courage to do it.
It just happens naturally, yeah.
Yeah, it just
but
happens.
but I think we should find out and do research on this, especially for high schoolers. I'm pretty sure it takes a lot of courage.
Well,
And we did that poll of like if you think it's intimidating approaching someone
who's confident.
who's confident. I feel like maybe that might be it
What were our
too.
results on that? I didn't.
So for me, 35% said yes and 65%
Yes,
said no.
that it's.
Yes, that is that it
scary.
is intimidating. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that makes dating hard, just in general, from our responses here to the question, is dating hard in college? And we have 76% answer yes.
Wow.
And see, what I was going to mention with that, as far as what you were saying about going on dates isn't necessarily hard, is I liked one of the responses. I found it and then you got rid of it.
Oh, sorry.
But here it is. It's easy to get dates, hard to find the right person or someone who's either bad or not bad or super weird. And so, but I think that's true. Like, it's not necessarily hard to ask people on dates, but it's hard to find the right people like you want to keep dating, if that makes sense.
I know exactly who wrote that.
I do too.
Wait,
Shout
I
out.
don't know.
Then I feel
Someone-
like that gives
Shout out
you
to him.
more of a reason to go on more dates
Exactly.
to try and narrow out what you actually like and what you don't.
That same person said they go on dates 3 times a week, so shout out to
Oh,
them.
good.
Yes,
Good,
you
good,
3
good.
times a week.
He's on a date as we're filming this.
Oh, okay, we know who that person is.
So, guys, I think it's interesting. We should read a couple of these responses from Is
Ooh.
Dating Hard in College?
Yeah, I was just
I
about
But
to say.
I also want us to spend a little bit of time on reading the responses of has today's dating culture /
Okay,
expectations
maybe let's make that
affected
our last
how
question.
you view dating. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's,
should we talk about
it's
this
so
and
important.
then go?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, wait. Is dating hard in college? Someone says yes. College people kind of suck.
I feel that.
That's so funny.
No, but here's a response that I like though. Someone says, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one. When at a school where most everyone knows everyone, it makes it difficult to date without looking like someone that goes around with a bunch of different girls.
Ooh, hot topic.
That's
also
that's
true.
that's the story of my life right there, bro.
That is true.
Oh, yeah, deal.
Because
Yeah.
with how many people you're going on dates with, people will think that you're a player.
And I've been like,
Yeah, you've been the victim of that.
I've
You
been
have
a
been the
victim of
victim
that
of
a
that.
lot.
Yeah.
Just because my personality and I'm outgoing like that, and like I like.
And you're friendly.
And your
Friendly,
friendly,
yeah.
so it's, a lot of people mistake that
yeah.
for flirting or being the player. I 100%.
I mean, I am flirtatious. I'll say that, but a lot of it is unintentional, and so sometimes or a lot of the times it leads to like, girls developing certain feelings, and then
Yeah.
because they know I'm not, they happen to find out I'm not interested, and that breaks their heart, and like, oh, you're such a womanizer, or you're such a player, oh, you're this and that, and so
Yeah.
this is a response that I can totally relate with because
Yeah.
it's such a small college, and that when you date different girls, it seems like, oh, this guy's been around the block. Type
Yeah,
thing.
and I also think it makes it hard for you to like go on date without like your personal life being out there, because we live in such a small town or a small college Whereas if you go on date with this one person, like I feel like everyone knows. So it's really hard for you to like go on dates and keep it personal.
By the way, these pancakes are busting, Alessandra.
They do be busting.
They do-
As
they
you
do
can see,
be
mine's
busting.
already gone.
Dude, I've been munching on these, bro. I ain't
Pancake
gonna lie to
swindler.
you. These are mad nice, fam.
Well, and I also really, really like this one. It's just, this person said, it's just hard to find somebody you're attracted to that shares your beliefs, values, and is interested to talk to. That's a big topic on oh my goodness, I just ruined that.
What?
In and of itself. Andy, please edit that.
We won't. That's staying. Well, I'll make fun of you.
And especially finding someone who shares your beliefs, your values, and interesting to talk to. Because nowadays there are people that are more, oh, I should keep to myself and not talk to people. Or there are just people that are not good conversationalists, you know?
I think it's important to note too, it's not, you don't have to agree on everything with
100%.
someone, which I think is something that I maybe had a misconception on. Like, it freaks me out when Kevin and I don't agree on something, but it's really normal to not agree on stuff.
100%.
That, you agree on a lot of things and you want to have similar interests and things like that, but it's not the end of the world if you disagree on
Yeah,
something.
and it's actually very healthy. I was actually, again, talking to my best friend about this. It's actually very healthy. I mean, it's really good to find someone who has the similar goals, similar beliefs and all of that, but it's actually very healthy as well for you to disagree on things, because that brings your relationship, it balances it out. Because you don't want it to be like so perfect that the moment it disagrees, it throws everything out of balance. It's like, we're in an argument. We disagree about this thing. Oh my gosh, are we going to get a divorce or something? Or we're going to break up, So
Yeah.
it's very healthy to have those disagreements too.
Someone made a good point here. Let's start for 20 seconds on this, and then we can move on. It says the culture at college is different than I'm used to. It's more of a hangout culture than a dating culture.
I saw that one. I
Oh,
thought that
and
was
that's why it's so weird
Yeah.
when you ask people to hang out and they think it's dating. It's not.
And so maybe that's why people
Oh.
only go on dates once a month, because
Because
they
they
hang
hang
out.
out.
They
all
hang
the
out
time.
a lot.
That is a great point.
Hanging out is not dating. Asking someone, let's hang out, is not dating.
Oh,
Let
it's
me
not
just say,
dating.
it's
Oh, you
not.
can,
It's
oh, you
not.
can make
I'm
your
so
hangout a
passionate.
date.
I'm just so passionate
Right?
about this because I've asked some guys to like hang out and they think it's weird because
Kevin,
like, they
what'd
think
you
I'm
ask?
asking them on a date. Hanging out is not dating.
You heard it here from Lawrence.
What I was saying was that you can ask someone on a date and hang out. That makes it a date. Instead of just hanging out without the date label.
Yeah, if hanging out did not say let's hang out, and hanging out is not dating, so don't put it in the
Okay,
same
we get it,
thing.
Lawrence.
Okay,
Thank you.
yes, we get it.
Yeah.
Okay, our last question, real quick. We'll spend a little bit of time on this one too. Where is it? Are the expectations of today? Does it make it hard to date? And where
Cultural
the
expectations.
cultural expectations? And that was a big one because we had a lot of responses that said yes.
Yeah, and you want to take that?
Yes, I'm just finding the question.
The one
Hold on.
TikTok sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
Facts.
I saw that one.
Where is that question?
Yeah.
It
It's
should be
right at
like
the end.
the very last one.
Okay.
No,
It has a lot
before
of
that.
responses, so it'll be.
Has
Yeah.
today's dating culture /
Yes.
expectations affected how you view dating? Is that
And
what-
73% of people said, I think so.
73%
and 26.
said, I think so. Interesting.
Yeah,
Look at
let's
that
hear one of the
first answer.
comments.
Look at that first answer.
Yes, so
Andy.
that first answer, I really like it a lot. It says, I feel like the hookup culture is really popular, but in the other hand, some people want to get married fast. We need to take time to really know the person before rushing into marriage. It affected me in the way that I want a serious relationship, but as a woman, I am expecting to get married and have kids before a certain age, which is something I don't think people should rush in.
Wow.
Wow.
And I agree.
Yes.
I think it's because it's a Utah culture.
Mm-hmm.
And remember
Yeah.
also earlier we spoke about, in the first episode we spoke about the Utah culture as in, based off of church beliefs. Because people want to get into intimate relationships, or they get married so they can get into have an intimate relationship. And so isn't Utah as well like the highest divorce rate? Is that
I don't know the facts, but
I
I
don't know
doubt that.
the
Anyway, that's a
facts
topic for
either.
another day. But I
Yeah.
feel like maybe it could be the highest divorce rate because people are rushing into marriage and they have the wrong
But
motivations
also,
for doing so.
let's also keep in mind that's not to say that just because you get married first is not going to work out.
Yeah, 100%.
I like how they mentioned.
And we also
I just
understand
culture.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
And the hookup culture,
and
because
I
I
relate
feel
to
like
this
it's
on
always
a very
the
personal
extreme
level
of
too,
each.
because
There's
it's
no in between.
yeah, it's like there's no in between. It's either okay, I want to get married and I want to get married now, or it's like okay, let's just hook up because I don't want to date right now, so let's just hook up and do all of that. And I feel like I have been in the both extremes, and I don't know. I just feel like that's interesting, and I think that makes me not want to date, and I feel like that's maybe why I haven't been dating as much, because I've always been experienced just the two extremes, whereas I haven't really found someone in that middle section.
and it's just different for us specifically because back home in South Africa, no one at the age of 21 or 22 is thinking at all about getting married.
Yeah.
That's true.
They get married
Mom
like
got married at 18.
27.
yeah.
I think it just
No one got
depends.
proposed to in high school.
No, it's just that what my point is, the culture is just different.
Yeah.
The culture is back home. First, work on things
school.
like finances, schooling, so that
And
you
then get married.
exactly,
And then,
so that you have what it takes to be able to sustain that relationship. Because let's be honest, money is a huge factor in marriage. We're not saying it's the main thing. It's not. We're not saying it's the main motivator or the main
money,
motive as to
finances.
why you should get married. But you should be prepared for marriage. It's a big step. It's a big commitment, right? And so I feel like the culture is just different because of that.
Hey,
And
you-
we
you're
also
not from-
go ahead.
Yeah, you're not from Utah. How is it in Colorado?
I would say shout out to all my Colorado people. It's
Yippee.
definitely shout out to Taylor. She's filled out our survey. Taylor Bear specifically. I know multiple Taylors, but so especially because I got to work at Crumble Cookies in high school, which was a good experience for me because a lot of people there have a way different dating culture than especially here in Utah. And it's a lot similar to what you guys are saying. People don't get married as young. They date for a long time. I know people that have dated for 4+ years before they get married, even though they probably knew they wanted to get married. They just wanted to be done with school or something like that. And so as I came to college, I knew that I wanted to date someone for a longer period of time. And we still only dated for a little over a year. But in Utah culture, that's a long time. And so I think that there's nothing wrong with dating someone a little bit longer because you always find out new stuff once you get married to them.
Yeah,
By the way, guys, everything we're talking about, if you want to add anything to it, if you have an opinion, comment down below.
And we also recognize that although we have a large demographics of our audience from Utah, this is for everywhere else. So don't feel like we just, because we're mentioning Utah, this is just where we live. We know this podcast reaches people in Africa, in Colorado. So we're just talking Utah specifically because this is where we're currently living.
Okay.
Anyway, we're out of time.
Hey,
We
sorry,
should start wrapping
before-
up.
Before we wrap up, there's this comment that I really want to say. I think it's funny. It says, hookup culture puts so much pressure on dating. Also, the dating culture in Utah is a joke. It's so funny.
Oh, before we actually wrap up, I actually want to, because I don't know, I know it's really funny because we just kind of had like gender, like male and female, but this person apparently they're in a homosexual relationship, and they were saying in the homosexual dating scene, getting physical sooner rather than later is normalized. I want a connection first before physical expectations are placed. It makes me avoid dating because most guys want something more physical than I do. But I think that goes for both, whether you're gay, straight, or whatever. I think it just, in my opinion, I feel like you should get connected first.
Yes.
Before you involve any physicality. Then I think no kissing on the first date.
I made Kevin wait to hold my hand. He tried for days until I got it.
There was this one comment on TikTok, and she was like, guys, we can just hug on the first date. And I'm like, yes, I am all for it. I am all for it. Let's just hug.
Let's hug more.
Dale is shaking his head.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
anyway, thank you so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate it. And again, I will reiterate what Dale said earlier. We really appreciate the interaction, your comments.
Yes,
your
thank you, guys.
hyping us up, and we wish that it could continue. We will drop another episode really soon.
And
Don't
let us
forget to
know.
follow our socials at hottakes.pancakes. That is TikTok, Instagram, and on Facebook, our page is called Hot Takes and Pancakes.
And also, if you want us to discuss a particular topic, let us know. We'll
Yeah.
send out a survey again to see like
What kind of topic?
what kind of topics you guys want us to discuss.
All right, thanks again. Tune in next week. See ya.
See
See you
guys.
Enjoy your
guys.
pancakes.